streaks on the line. It's week 5 of NFL Primetime. The Patriots a win away from history. Is destiny the winless Fins? The Falcons and Seahawks need a victory for their own record books. But another big day for Isaac Bruce could put an end to Seattle's winning roll. Curtis Martin's on a run for 4 straight centuries. Speaking of 4, the G-Men try to open a can of tuna. Big Ben's trying to stay the perfect rookie in Pittsburgh. The Bucs turned to not 1, but 2 big names to end their losing skid. Streaking into week 5, it's NFL Prime Time.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Columbus Day weekend 2004, history made by the New England Patriots, going for 19 straight wins. Their defense, their offense, their special teams, their coaches. The last time they lost was September 2003. And the Patriots are in the record books. No other team has ever won 19 straight and counting. Our congratulations to them. Obviously, full highlights and more comments on that in a moment. I'm Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson. Hey, history.
History.
Columbus Day weekend. That was some history, by the way, in 1492.
Yeah, and we don't get to see it often. We don't get to see it often today. 80-some years of NFL play, we saw the most wins consecutively by one team today.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the Pats. We're also seeing a little bit of change in the waters here for a historic franchise, if you will. We're going to get started with a game in the AFC North where what else would you rather have at Heinz Field than a Roethlisberger? Obviously, that is what we have. We're Bill Carr and the Steelers. They played the Cleveland Browns 103 times in regular season, or just anywhere, playoffs as well. And Deuce Staley has 3 straight 100-yard games. He's cooking his 3rd one with 117 yards, and so Pittsburgh running the ball leads 7-0. Ben Roethlisberger, bad luck here, through the hands of Antoine Randall. Chris Crocker bakes a touchdown, 20-yard return, and we're tied at 7. But Ben Roethlisberger, the first thing you notice, I'm going to watch the play first. Watch for a big guy. He can move. He's got poise. And Tom, remember, he shakes off an interception. It's only his 3rd start.
That's right. Interception in the first quarter, shakes it off. This throw to Plexico Burress. We're going to take a look at why he's down and getting up slowly here. Orpheus Roy going to nail him right there as he's letting the ball go. Now you think about shaking off this hit as well.
Now watch the big guy move. Look at him make a kind of a dive. Roethlisberger, a 6-yard touchdown run. Steelers back in front of a game already more high-scoring than you thought, 14-7. Then 17-10, Pittsburgh second. Big Ben on the run. Fires one to Plexico Burress, touchdown. Roethlisberger, 16 at 21, 231, 24-10, Pittsburgh. Now 27-13, and wait a minute now. Jerome Bettis is coming in, but they're on the 3, Tom, not the 1. And then the Bucs, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have a stranglehold in the division. 34-13 lead. And then if Cleveland was thinking about coming back, they cut it to 11. Garcia fumbles. Clark Higgins falls on it. And that was it. The Steelers beat Cleveland 34-23. We gave you Roethlisberger's numbers. Pittsburgh amassing 401 yards in the game. By the way, Bettis almost up to 2 yards a carry for the season. We do like to keep track of that. And in this, we want to show you something that Roethlisberger has done since the merger in 1907. Quarterbacks winning to start their career. Now, this would be rookie quarterbacks to start their career. Yes, rookie quarterbacks to start their career. Mike Kruzek from BC led Pittsburgh to 6 straight wins in 76. Thiem had 4. But look at this. Roethlisberger, don't remember really Mike Barilla too much anymore. Jim Everett, who had a nice career. And Rupert Washington. You know what? You don't come in and start winning games like this. And here's my big assessment of Pittsburgh, big picture. There was such energy with Pittsburgh and Coach Bill Cowher. A lot of the coaching staff was changed. Some of the makeup of the team was changed. For example, Deuce Staley coming in. But yet, the framework of it, we're going to play tough defense. We're going to run the ball because we're going to keep Bettis around. So we're going to play old-style Steeler with new juice. And Roethlisberger came in because of Maddox's injury ahead of schedule. But it's all kind of meshed together very quickly, Tom.
Yeah, and I think a large part of that is Bill Cowher, and then Ben fits this football team, and I think he fits the personality of this city. But he's going to make you proud. He does a lot of things well. That's where we're going to begin our extra point for tonight. He is a guy who keeps his head up. He understands what he can do outside the pocket. You take a look at him here, the fake. He's looking short. Right there, wants to hit Deuce Staley with the football, but he can see the coverage coming up on him. He sees the defensive end peripherally out the corner of his eye. He avoids, makes a throw downfield to Plexico Burress deep to get him into the red zone. Number 2, Roethlisberger again. He backs up here. He takes the snap. He looks to his right. Receivers are in tight coverage. He has the ability for a big man, and you heard Boom say this during the highlights, moves better than you would expect for a guy his size. Here again, in the pocket, but he feels that pressure. This is something you really can't teach. It's just a feel. Gets outside, balances himself up, makes a good throw downfield to Hines Ward. So I think when you talk about, we've spoken to their coaches, when you talk about the maturity beyond his years, the ability of a big man to move with the football and throw on the move because he keeps his head up. These are all things that are going to benefit him now, but I think as the receivers begin to understand, boy, he's going to keep plays alive if I keep working. If I keep working, boy, am I going to find some numbers at the end of the day.
I just like the mix of youth, and then this is the way we've done it, and it's all kind of going together for Pittsburgh, who find themselves at 4-1. Tampa Bay, things have gotten so bad for the Bucs, they went to some famous, well, Philip Tim, Bob Greasy. No, it was Chris Sims and Brian Greasy pulling out all stop the Bucs to try to win. Now the Patriots don't have to pull out any stops to win. 19 and counting. We'll show you how they did it when Primetime rolls.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting low-carb Miller Lite. And in part by Bristol-Myers Squibb Company. Hope, triumph, and a miracle of medicine. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Vikings and Texans put on quite a show, not to be confused with the 4 members of the Texas O-line arriving in style. But they watched as Dante Culpepper hit Randy Moss for a yard, and the Vikings lead 7-0. Vikings had 510 yards of offense. That was one of them. Later in the quarter, Culpepper to Nate Burleson. And it's quickly a Viking rout, 14-0 Minnesota, a 5-yard TD pass and a little trickery, Tom.
Yeah, you saw the reverse action here to Randy Moss. That draws the entire defense to the offense's left, and Burleson is able to beat Aaron Glenn off to the corner of the end zone.
21-0 Minnesota, third quarter, but David Carr to Andre Johnson. He makes great catch after great catch. And if you don't believe, watch this as they're inside the 5. What? Boy, what a combination this is. 21-7, and Houston's on the board. But you're not going to come back by 3 touchdowns against the Vikes, are you?
Every quarterback wants a guy who'll go up and get the football for him, and Andre Johnson will definitely do that.
Well, under 7 minutes to go. It's a 21-14 game, but no, it's back to 2 touchdowns. Culpepper to Moss, 50 yards, 28-14 Minnesota. On the following drive for Houston, 4th and goal from the 11, David Carr, never say die. This is Derek Armstrong from Arkansas. Monticello had a big game, 28-21. Then, on the kickoff, Mewelde Moore, who had a big game running and catching, did not. Here, waltzing Mewelde, waltzing Mewelde. He's going to be caught on his 3-yard line with me. And so, after 3 and out, Darren Bennett, the Aussie punter, speaking of waltzing Matilda. Remember him for the Chargers? What a big kick out of trouble. And J.J. Moses looks like Grandma Moses. But special teams, again, doing in Minnesota because ineligible man downfield. So they have to get rid of a 60-yard punt and watch what happens with 2.5 to go. This time, Moses takes it up in the neighborhood of the 40-yard line. So it's a 20-yard difference on a 5-yard penalty after they already fouled up the kickoff. So 2 minutes to go. Carr, Andre Johnson. Bang! And Carr took a licking on the play as well. We are tied at 28. Houston doing it again at home. Johnson, 12 for 170. Overtime now. Second drive, Minnesota. Touch. Oh, cuckoo. Marcus Robinson. He can't hold on to the pass from Culpepper. How do you throw it to him? Tell you how you do it. 2 plays later, you do it. Culpepper. Zing to Robinson. Plastics. Touchdown. 50 yards. And the Vikings win an absolutely wild game, 34-28. Oh, by the way, Dante Culpepper, 36 of 50 for 396. Carr, 27 of 43 for 372. 920 yards of total offense in the game. Moore caught 12. Johnson caught 12. The Vikings are 3-1. Boy, neither team had a turnover, Tom. Neither team.
Yeah, outstanding football game. 2 well-coached football teams.
It was fun. Bucks at Saints, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 0-4. First time in franchise. Well, no, they've actually done that many times in franchise history. And they're going to Chris Sims. His first start in the NFL's. Brad Johnson was the 3rd-string quarterback 2 years after he won the Super Bowl. Sims, first quarter at New Orleans, finds Charles Lee. 22 yards, down to the Saints 41. Dramatic field goal, 3-0. But Sims is going to be sacked by rookie Will Smith, getting jiggy with it. It's a fumble. Saints have the ball. And Sims, welcome to the NFL, just a quarter, and he leaves with a left shoulder injury.
Yeah, not only did Will Smith jump on him, but Brian Young also fell on him, and you saw right there as he's leaving, he's a little bit shaken up.
So, we go from Sims to Greasy. No, this is not the Wayback Machine. But meanwhile, Aaron Brooks to Boo Williams. Fitting, Halloween's coming. Boo catches a touchdown. 7-3 Saints. Deuce McAllister, seemingly with a head of steam. Oh, it's a fumble. Greg Spire strips him. Rodney Barber, touchdown. The Bucs defense scoring. It's 13-7. And Deuce was up and down, very much down here. Third quarter. Greasy now to Ken Dilger. Where is the defense? They're the Saints. 45-yard touchdown pass. It's 20-7. You want to see some good defense here by Brian Kelly?
Yeah, beautiful play right here on the football. Just snatched it right out of the receiver's hand.
And so they start Sims. They go Greasy. Morrow was next. But John Gruden's Bucs, and I would have demanded that they go back to the orange jerseys if they went 0-5. They did not. The Bucs won, and now the Saints have given Arizona their first win of the year, and they've given Tampa Bay their first win of the year. It's 20-17. Tampa wins it as New Orleans falls to 2-3. When we return, Peyton Manning. Well, before the bye week, the Colts wanted to get roaring against Oakland. Did the Colts offense, the highest scoring in football, keep doing it? And speaking of high rolling, the undefeated Atlanta Falcons trying to become 5-0. First time ever in their team history would they do it.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Indianapolis Colts scored the most points in football coming in, averaging 31 points a game. And with the Raiders coming into the Dome with their back to the future, just go long, baby. You knew this would be bombs away from the start. And it was. The Colts came out. And Tony Dungy saying hello to old friend Warren Sapp. Two of the big cogs in taking Tampa from those dreadful orange jerseys into one of the great teams of the last 5-6 years. Meanwhile, Peyton Manning, pretty good here, huh? First 6 minutes, the Colts go right up the field. That's James Monroe, who jerries in for the touchdown, 7-0. Then the Colts are actually held by the Raiders in 4th and 1, but Akbar Biamila gets it jumping off.
Yeah, you jump off sides, and it costs you literally possession of the football. You see Warren Sapp agonizing over that on the side.
Well, he knows their defense stopped them, Tom, and then therefore what happens. Manning to Reggie Wayne. Stately Wayne Manor. Touchdown. Rob Ryan says that's what happens. 14-0.
Yeah, Phillip Buchanan right there in the slot. You saw him miss the jam on Brandon Stokely. So now the corner is one-on-one. And this is the third corner. And he's up on Reggie Wayne. That's just a foot race to the end zone. You're not going to win that from the bump position.
In the red zone again, Manning to Dallas Clark. The second-year tight end. Remember, he was hurt midway through the season. He's fine. He can dunk. 3 TD passes, Manning. 21-7 at the half, Colts. Then Marvin Harrison slides down to the floor, 34-yard pickup. Setting up, and you know the Colts on the 1-yard line. Little giddy, Tom, right?
Hasn't been the greatest position for us, of course, in the last couple of years.
But James with a touchdown, 136 yards rushing on the day. Jerry Rice didn't have a catch this Sunday. Rich Gannon can only watch, looking for a third doctor's opinion about his neck injury. But meanwhile, Kerry Collins picked off by Jason David. And he could go all the way. 2 starts, Collins. 6 interceptions. Last week, a fumble return against Collins for a touchdown. This week, an interception return against Collins for a touchdown. You get the picture. Colts win, going to their bye week with 4 straight wins after that opening Thursday night loss. They win 35-14, and Oakland's lost 12 in a row on the road, Tom.
Yeah, and you just can't afford the turnovers. And you saw that number even going into the day. Perfect in the red zone. The Indianapolis Colts were 9 for 9 going in. They didn't hurt that at all today.
Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons 4-0. Never been 5-0. Mike Vick. Can they beat the Detroit Lions? The Falcons punting on 4th and 6, and one-time Buffalo Bill punter Chris Moore to Brian Finneran. Tricky Falcons. Special team coordinator Joe DeCamillis is pumped up. Later in the drive, Atlanta on the 2. Work done. Finding the end zone a lot this year, Tom. 2-yard run, 7-0 Atlanta. On 4th and 5. This is a 4th and 5 play. Joey Harrington to Hakeem with Williams down the field blocking. What a play by Hakeem on 4th and 5. 39 yards. Lions have tied it at 7. Then Vick picked off Alex Lewis. And he's going to return it all the way down to the 2-yard line. Setting up an Artros Pinner touchdown. Detroit leading in Atlanta 14-7. Now, lining up for a field goal last half minute of the first half. Now watch what happens here. Terrence Holt.
Well, you know that he expects a fake because he pointed out toward the right sideline. He jumps the kicker right away, gets him down on the ground. That's a failed attempt, and obviously he read something pre-play.
Well, Detroit's holding more passing to Feely, and Detroit special teams for the 3rd time this year making a big-time contribution. Harrington to Roy Williams, and he goes, Corey Hall rolls on his left ankle. It looked like it might have been broken, but the news afterwards, quote, gimpy. Certainly that's better news than it looked at the time. Meanwhile, here comes Atlanta. Vick to Algie Crumpler, the battle of the Crumplers. Which Crumpler is better? 24 yards out of the 47-yard line. Next play, Vick, Peerless Price, down to the 35, Tom. 2 plays later, Vick to Finneran, down to the 21. 51 seconds left. Vick, 17-10. Vick, who was sacked on the play before that by Sean Rogers, gets hit by his own man, Todd Weiner. Fumble, James Hall recovers. The Lions, the Detroit Lions, who lost 24 straight games on the road over 3 years. They won opening week at Chicago, and now you can't stop them away from home. They've won 2 in a row, 17-10. Atlanta loses for the first time this year. The surprising Lions are 3-1. And how about this, Tom? They force 3 turnovers. They have 6 sacks. They're doing things on special teams. This is a team that's learning how to win.
Yeah, and players play the game, obviously, and those things that you just said you attribute to the players, but I also give Mooch credit for bringing this young football team together and getting them to play and believe in what he believes in.
And he beat his old defensive assistant, Jim Mora. He's 1-0 against him. Tiki Barber and the Giants. Could they run to 4 straight wins? They're in Big D where they've had some trouble. And the Seattle Seahawks trying to roll over the Rams to go to 4-0. What a game this turned out to be. Jamal Lewis playing tonight for the Baltimore Ravens. Then a 2-game suspension. But the 2,000-yard man hopes to lead the Ravens to a win over the Redskins on Sunday Night Football.
Inside the Numbers. Brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
The New York Football Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. A couple of guys have been around, Vinny Testaverde and Kurt Warner. The Eagles idol, a huge game here in the NFC East, and Keyshawn Johnson catches one from the pass-happy Cowboys. First touchdown of the year for Keyshawn. Giants trail at 10-6. Jeff Eagles punting in the third, and Keith Davis is going to get charged with a running into the kicker penalty, and Eagles gets an Emmy for acting, but it gets the Giants a first down. Then Tiki Barber, leading all-purpose carrier in the first month of the season. Whip! And look at Tiki. We showed you this morning, Tommy and Michael and Steve, the way he carried the ball up high. No fumble, just yards. 58 of them here, Tom.
Yeah, and gaining a lot of confidence in this offensive line. You just look at the guys up front. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but great seal blocks to the left side. Those are 4 outstanding blocks that get him off and into the secondary.
Same drive, first and 10 of the Cowboys, 14. Warner rolling, and here comes Greg Ellis. Look out. It's a sack. But flag on the play, a face mask on Ellis, so personal foul, automatic first down. So that's 2 times the Cowboy giving the Giants a first down. And then the Roy Glover with the sack. It's a fumble, but unnecessary roughness on Glover. So 3 times. And then what happens here? Well, better get over to Shockey. They kind of miss it. Roy Williams is on Shockey.
They actually get the lineup that they want, but that's a good move by Shockey to the outside. And we forget sometimes what a good receiver he is down in the red zone.
So Bill Parcells watching as his team trails 13-10 now. Testaverde screen. Darian Barnes. Will Allen with the tackle and a turnover on down. So 2 4th-and-1 gambles in this game by the Tuna don't pay off. Meanwhile, the screen to Tiki Barber. And he's off to the races. He could go a lot of the way. Troy Dixon picks it up, finally brings him down inside the 15. But then, Tiki Bear, off right tackle, touchdown. Man, the Giants end up winning, going away. Coughlin over Parcells. He was 1-3 in meetings before this, including a couple playoff games, his old mentor. But this time the Giants have a 4-game winning streak. The 4 wins equals the total of wins the team had all last year. 26-10. And the Giants are doing everything right. Tiki with 198 combined, running and receiving. We've said this for a month. They look like a team. No interceptions again.
Absolutely.
Warner. I mean, they're careful with the ball, and you pointed out the line.
Yeah. Quarterback, running back doing great. Receivers doing great. That means the offensive line is definitely doing their job. And these guys, much maligned, but when you think about them, the left tackle, Luke Pettigrew, Chris Nee, Jason Whittle at the left guard spot, Sean O'Hare, David Deal. Look at the patience that Warner can have in the pocket because he knows that he's got the time to throw the football. Again, look at the communication. Guys calling out the signals, namely the center there, Sean O'Hare, calling out those signals, changing the blocking scheme for him. Again, he gets time to release the football. Combination of Warner also getting back, letting the football go out of his hands. Then Jeremy Shockey here in a nice matchup, and look at the throw by Warner. So it's a combination of solid blocking up front, but also the timing of the quarterback. You've got a guy in Kurt Warner, very experienced, and he's letting the football go. 3 steps, I'm supposed to let it go. Ball's going to be gone. Put it on the receiver to make the catch.
And remember all the things that went wrong for the Giants, like special teams.
That's right.
Steve Christie with 4 field goals. They look like a team.
Tom Coughlin.
They were 10 minutes early.
Tom Coughlin.
They'll be there whenever he says. Meanwhile, speaking of a team, this is the team that defines TEAM. The New England Patriots tied in the record books going into their game with, fittingly, the Miami Dolphins in Foxborough. Why? The Dolphins, one of 5 other teams that through the years, the 72 and early 73 Dolphins, that have won 18 straight games, which the Patriots have done, 18 and counting. Would there be history in the making in Foxborough? They already had a raucous weekend. It's our prime cut. The Red Sox sweeping out the Angels, and now would the Patriots win 19 in a row? The fans are ready for a celebration. Tom Brady ready, although several of his receivers were out. But let's see, 5 straight games of the touchdown pass to the young tight end Daniel Graham. 10-0 New England. 3.5 to go in the first half. Dolphins driving. Jay Fiedler to Chris Chambers. Wait a minute. Somebody forgot to give Miami the message that they were supposed to roll over, even though they haven't won a game. Matt Turk. It was a snap that was wide and the rush was coming in. He figured he'd make a run for it. It ended up being a bad decision with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. And what do the good teams do? Last 2 minutes of the half is often when you can tell who the winners and the losers are. Brady to David Givens for a touchdown. So Miami makes the miscue, Tom. New England makes them pay for it, 17-7. Corey Dillon breaks the tackle by Zach Thomas.
And this is something that this team didn't have over the course of the last couple of years, this burst, this 35, 40-yard burst by the running back. Antoine Smith was good. He's better.
94 yards. He's out of the game, though, because of an ankle problem, although he came back later. Rabi Abdullah is the one that takes it in from the 1 yard out, and it's 24-7, and the romp is on. But this was an unbelievable story by young Wes Welker. Welker, a free agent from Texas Tech, rookie, returned punts and kickoffs. Oh, by the way, Olindo Mare hurt before the game, and Welker, who is 0 for 1 in college and kicking an extra point, kicks a 29-yard field goal and an extra point. He kicked off, and on the same play that this young man kicks off, he makes a tackle. Great job. Wes Welker, more on him in a moment. 24-10, the Patriots. Late in the fourth, second and goal, Miami. They're going to make it a game just before the 2-minute warning. But look out. Rodney Harrison sacks Jay Fiedler, leaves the game, injured ribs. In comes A.J. Feely. He don't feel too good either because he's hit on his play. He's in for 2 plays. He leaves with a concussion, hit by, 19. And a rare bastard smile for the head coach, the architect, Bill Belichick, whose Patriots have now won 19 and counting. They win this game 24-10, despite the fact they have only 204 yards on offense, outgained by almost 100 by Miami. But guess what? They don't care how you win them. When you win 19 in a row, you're in the record books by your lonesome. Tom Brady, a big reason why.
We're very proud, but at the same time, it really does nothing for what we're trying to accomplish this year. And it's certainly not our number one goal. But we win 15 in a, you win 15 in a row to end the year, and we start 4-0, and we answer a lot of questions about it. So we're all aware of it, but at the same time, like I said, it's not going to do anything to help us beat Seattle next week. I know that.
They all drink the Kool-Aid. What's the next game? Well, I'll tell you what the Patriots have done among the 19 wins. 13 of the 19 wins have come by their defense holding their opponents to 17 points or less. Plus 22 in the turnovers. Tom Brady has been almost automatic. 32 TDs and 11 interceptions, and our congratulations to the New England Patriots, who, and I hope they, and maybe they can't because they've got to come back tomorrow and do some more work.
In the middle of it.
But I hope they can enjoy what they've done because, this might end up with another Super Bowl, whether it does or not, that's their goal. But this is a team that, as we said this morning, mentally tough. Mentally tough enough to make just about every big play they need and force their opponents into every big error that they need, even when they get 200 yards of offense, they figure out a way to win the game.
And I think this is their way of enjoying it. I think that's what they're doing right now, this amazing accomplishment. You saw it from Coach Belichick. You saw it from Tom Brady. They obviously understand the historical value of this, but they also, I think, now will refocus, and this will help them. It's a benefit to have this streak. This streak will help them be focused game after game after game. Because I said it would take on a life of its own. After they got to 18 and 19, this is now history. Every single week that they continue to win, it's continued history.
And they want to do it. They're never, okay, well, we don't feel so great this week.
Right.
That's not the case. Right. I do want to add one thing on this young Wes Welker, the last NFL player, all right, to kick a field goal, return a kick in any game happened in 1967, John Love, the Washington Redskins. So that little historical note, but the big historical note, congratulations to him. 19 in a row and counting. Earned every moment of it. Hey, you wouldn't think that Arizona and San Francisco would put on a great show. One of 2 overtime games out west and the best uniforms ever. Also, the guys in them can play some football.
Chevrolet Fantasy Ticker is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution.
You only see it once a year. The greatest uniforms in the history of sports. The throwback 1960s Lance Allworth, John Hadel, San Diego Chargers. And look at this. Drew Brees to LaDainian Tomlinson. San Diego to the Chargers. 54 yards. Setting up LT from the 1. How about the light bulb on the helmet? He's in there. 14-0 San Diego against Jacksonville, who comes in with a heck of a defensive resume. Then Breeze to Antonio Gates, who played basketball, not football, at Kent State. 21-0 San Diego.
And this is why coaches shift formations. You put Gates in the backfield. They have trouble with recognition defensively. Nobody picks him up on the swing. That's an easy walk into the end zone.
The LT did not play much in the second half, being rested. He and Marty Schottenheimer, even that the coach gets the light blue hat. It's 27-14. Backup running back Jesse Chapman. Now remember how the Jaguars had gone like a year without allowing a 100-yard game? This is the backup to LaDainian Tomlinson. Chapman for 31, and then Chapman burst through. He could go all the way. Paul Lowe, Keith Lincoln. They all look good in this. The Chargers went on to roll Jacksonville 34-21, and Chapman off the bench for 103 yards. The Chargers' last win in these uniforms, 1994. What happened to San Diego in 94? They made the Super Bowl. I'm just throwing it out there. It's a fact. Here we go with the Cardinals. Who wants to watch the Cardinals and the Niners? We do! Emmitt Smith. Touchdown pass thrown last week. Touchdown run last week. He tries to avoid the ball. Julian Peterson, the best defender on the Niners, tears his Achilles tendon. If that's the case, which we believe, out the year. Cardinals up 14-12 in the fourth quarter. Emmitt Smith. Look at Emmitt. New life here with Denny Green. Touchdown at 21-12, and it's over. Still, 9 minutes to go. Josh, tears of McCown. To Larry Fitzgerald. His first NFL touchdown. 28-12. It's certainly over Arizona. Now it's 28-20. And Tim Rattay. It's not Steve Bono. We're in 13. It's Tim Rattay to Brandon Lloyd. It's 28-26. Dennis Erickson obviously goes for 2. Rattay. Lloyd. He scoops it up. 2-point conversion with 1:07 to go. Ties the game. We're tied at 28. Overtime. Niners, 3rd and 10 at their own 38. Incomplete, but a flag. And Darnell Dockett is going to be flagged for hitting Rattay after he's through roughing the passer.
Yeah, and you just watch where the hit comes from. And it's a close call by the official, but, you got to try to back off when you get a chance.
Good job, Julian Peterson out on the field rooting his team on. Tim Rattay to Eric Johnson from
Yale.
The 49ers in field goal range. And Todd Peterson is out with a 32-yard attempt. It's good. It's good. The 49ers. I wouldn't say it this morning, Tom.
You didn't say it.
I didn't say it because the Niners still can beat Arizona. They come from behind, seemingly way out, and they win at 31-28. And in a franchise with Joe Montana, Steve Young, John Brody, Y.A. Tittle, Tim Rattay completed more passes, 38, than any quarterback ever had in a game for San Francisco.
Amazing.
Tim Rattay in the books. It was a day of history. When we return, Chad Pennington and the undefeated Jets taking on the winless Bills. But this one would be easy to figure out, right? Maybe not. It's an AFC East battle. And game of the day, perhaps, up in the Pacific Northwest. The Seahawks trying to put a hurt on the Rams. They had other ideas. Visa Skycam helping us get ready for the Ravens and Dion playing tonight at the Washington Redskins. Sunday Night Football. The Battle of the Beltway. Bottom of the hour. Buffalo Bills yet to win yet this year. The New York Football Jets yet to lose yet this year. Herm Edwards, reason to smile. Why not? The Jets doing all the things right. Mainly like this. Chad Pennington, play action. Chris Baker, but not like this. Fumbles into the hands of Pearson Prelo, and the Jets blow an opportunity up 7-0 in the second. But a couple of field goals, they're up 13-0 in the fourth. Drew Bledsoe, Bills on the board. Boy, scoring is tough for them this year. Mark Campbell holds it in. It's 13-7. Then Bledsoe to the rookie, Lee Evans. Well, this he can do. Bombs away. Evans, 46 yards. Tom and the Bills are up.
He loves to throw the deep ball. He puts great touch on it. He gets a lot of air up under it. You know, maybe as good as anybody in the league when he has time.
Pennington to Anthony Beck for the first down. So now the Jets, with a minute to go, are down. Doug Bryant, 38-yard field goal. Life of Bryant. Good. 16-14 the Jets. 2 seconds remaining, but the Bills have to just throw it as far as they can. All right, go long, and then you go long, and then you go long. And so, if you're the Jets, Tom, what are you going to do?
We're going to knock it down.
The ball's tipped. Oh! It's picked off by T-Buck, Terrell Buckley, and the Jets hang on, and up there marked to 4-0. The Bills fall to 0-4. They play Miami next week, and something's got to give to the Jets. Pennington throwing 42 times for 304 yards, get a win. Although they couldn't convert a lot of plays, they made a lot of field goals, but they get the win. Panthers, Broncos in Denver. Stephen Davis trying to warm up for Carolina, could not go. Panthers down 6 in the second quarter, 6-0. Deshaun Foster, and he goes down hard. He leaves the game with a sprained shoulder. For Denver's Ruben Drones. Look at him. He drones on into the Carolina secondary. What? It keeps spinning. Look who's down the field. Get used to this. Number 90, Julius Peppers, all the way down the field. A great run by Drones. And then Jake Plummer. He's an artist at times. Other time, he's a finger painter. This is the artist part. Drones with the shovel pass works, oddly enough, in the AFC. 13% Broncos. Then in the third quarter, Julius Peppers.
Yeah, and watch Julius Peppers play football, trying to beat him to the corner. What athleticism. Defensive end chasing Jake Plummer, and he beats him to the corner.
And not only did Peppers do that, Plummer thrown off the back foot, picked off in the middle of the end zone by Peppers. He's to the 20, the 30, the big defensive end could go all the way. 101. Oh, no, it's a foot. No, it's a first one. Ref said touchback, but that was challenged immediately by John Fox and recovered. How about the effort by Rod Smith to save a touchdown? But
great effort by Rod, but you can see clearly Julius Peppers is down and the ground causes the fumble once he's touched down.
Was that a 101-yard interception return that did not go for a touchdown? That's amazing. Jake Delhomme. Daylight come, and you got a Delhomme. Big block there. Panthers now lead 17-13 after Denver, Tom, was about to put the game away. Now in a fourth. Plummer, 3rd and 7. To Ashley Lillard. See that he does that? I mean, he's keeping everybody in the game. 39-yard touchdown. Spectacular catch.
Yeah, Ashley Lillard, had trouble the first year or so catching the football. Boy, has he cured that, and he's making the tough catches for this team now.
Now, the Panthers attempting a field goal by Casey get called for a false start, and the flag almost hits or does hit Matt Willig. He throws the flag in disgust, and you can't do that. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. He said it hit my eye, almost hit my eye. But penalties have taken, and this is what happened. So now the 20-yard penalties take them out of field goal range. They could have made the field goal. Casey's one of the best. They would have gone to overtime, and the Broncos win the game 20-17, which is an inexplicable ending for Carolina. And Plummer pulled another one out of the hat.
Yeah, Plummer did a good job, but Ruben Drones, it's amazing how Mike Shanahan is finding these guys to run the football. 30 carries, 193 yards, Ruben Drones.
But as Bachman Turner Overdrive once sang, you ain't seen nothing yet. Sean Alexander and the Seahawks, undefeated at home last year. That's Grant Wistrom saying hi to former teammates before the game, but he knows the tendency of St. Louis, and he knows that Sean Alexander's 1-yard run has very early in the game put the Seahawks up 7-0. Seattle leads 17-7, minute 40 to go in the half, and this is what the good teams do. They're inside, they're in their own 5, Hasselback to Darrell Jackson. Aeneas Williams shaken up on the play. And 2 plays later, it's Sean Alexander who moves up and gets out of bounds. And then the next play, so under a minute to go, remember, under 2 minutes to go, they're in the shadow of their own goalpost. Then Hasselback to Jackson. Darrell Jackson, touchdown. Wow, just like that. Seattle's march right up the field. 56-yard touchdown, 24-7 at the half. 27-10 Seahawks fourth quarter. If I only could find Brandon Malamala, Mark Bulger with a touchdown, 27-17. But Seattle still in control despite the great catch by Malamala.
Yeah, ball thrown into triple coverage, but this is the chances you take when you have confidence. 3 Seahawks around, ball perfectly placed for the catch.
Now, 3.5 to go later in the fourth. Bulger to Kevin Cordes. My goodness, what a throw. Beating 2 Seahawks who had him covered pretty well. It's 27-24. The Rams are looking like the Rams of old. Still, down a field goal. Bulger to Isaac Bruce. He's over the midfield stripe. Inside the 40, 27 yards. Then, Bulger, 19 seconds. To Dane Looker, and he gets out of bounds. Setting up Jeff Wilkins for the tie. 30. Six-yard field goal. Good. And Seattle is tied now by the Rams at 27 all. Rams win the toss for Mike Martz. 2nd and 5, St. Louis. There it is. There's the toss. Some interesting stuff happened on the toss, but not here. The Rams win it 2nd and 5. Steven Jackson stopped by that Seattle defense, which had played so well in their 3-0 start, setting up 3rd and 8. So here they come. Blitz up the middle. Bulger gets rid of it. Sean McDonald goes to the farm. E-I-E-I-O. It's a touchdown. The Rams from way back, make up 20 and then get this touchdown in OT.
Yeah, Terrell Vieira gets beat right there by McDonald, and just a perfect throw. Boy, he looked awfully slow in coverage, but what a throw and a catch, quarterback receiver.
Mark Bulger, 325-yard throwing despite the 3 picks, and the Rams looked like they would self-destruct. They are not apparently ready to hand over this division to the Seattle Seahawks next. Remember, Seattle didn't lose all last year at home. A major win for the St. Louis Rams.
It's just amazing the confidence of a team that struggled with the turnovers, and he didn't stop throwing the football.
Game balls coming on a wild and woolly day, and a historic one as well.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting low-carb Miller Lite. And in part by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Boomer, my game ball goes to young Ben Roethlisberger. 3-0 as a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, taking his shots, getting up, making his stand, doing all the things you would look for from a more mature quarterback. You look at the numbers right there, but the most important number, he's won it 3 times that he started a football game for the Steelers.
My game ball, I'm springing for 53 of them. Let's see, the coaching staff, about 15 or 18. The owner, maybe 100 game balls. Go to Foxborough as the New England Patriots on offense, on defense, on special teams, and coaching staff in front office have put together the atmosphere to win 19 straight games and put themselves alone in the NFL record book. And therein, the Jets, Giants, and Colts are winning. The Cards and Raiders still lose on the road. How about Seattle allowing only, 13 points all year, and then they give up the last 23 points?
It's starting
You
to
tell
get
me.
crazy.
Here we go. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Happy Columbus Day, everybody. Wow.